Introduction. What is pyrolysis? Pyrolysis is a thermochemical decomposition of organic material at elevated temperature in the absence of oxygen. It is a type of thermolysis that is most commonly observed in organic material exposed to high temperature. The example of pyrolysis process is burning of solid fuels. Solid fuels include coal, peat, slag, and smokeless fuels such as anthracite, furnaceite, and avoids. Charred wood. Burning the wood so that it requires no painting after it's installed. It can last upwards of 80 until 100 years with little maintenance. Lastly, vegetation comes in contact with lava during volcanic eruptions. In general, pyrolysis of organic substance produces gas-liquid products and leaves a solid residue in richer carbon content. PFR, plug flow reactor. Model used to describe chemical reactions in continuous flowing systems of cylindrical geometry. PFR work well with many fluids such as liquids, gases, and slurries. Plug flow condition means that all the material processed through the reactor must have the same residence time so that the chemical exiting the reactor have witnessed the same reaction conditions of reactive species, contact time, aging, temperature, history. As you see from the picture, molar flow rate inlet SFA node and then leaving SFA that have different molar flow rate because the reactant has reacted.
Okay, so now I will continue with the evolution of the wire mesh reactor. So evolution of wire mesh reactor start with vertical furnace hydrolyzer called drop tube reactor by Loisin and Chivin. Then in 1964, they able to collect charge by washing the internal surface with solvent. In 1976, Horrocks reviewed the literature on coal pyrolysis and hydropyrolysis. The early version built at MIT with heating rate range between 270,000 until 10,000 degrees Celsius. Coal sample placed between layers of a folded mesh to absorb resistive heat. Next, the evolution continue at the Bangor Frenchit with 10 kHz heating current used, analog feedback controller, and pyrolysis and hydropyrolysis were carried out at pressure up to 100 bars. Besides, electrode holder were made of the cell polymerate. Okay, so now the wire mesh reactor are commercially acquired from the Bangor Frenchit. Over years, variation occurs in the amount of sample used by different laboratories. So the evolution of the wire mesh reactor show that it improved over years, and also now the wire mesh reactor are not only used in the pyrolysis but also used for the other purpose.
Okay, this experiment was carried out at temperature of up to 1127 degrees C. The pressure used is 0.1 to 70 bars. The heating rate is 0.1 up to 15 degrees C per second. The holding times or time at constant temperature is 0 to 300 seconds. This experiment carried out with heating rates up to 1000 degrees C per second at atmospheric pressure. So this experiment, the reactor used forced sweep gas to remove the volatiles and gases. The temperature measured with thermocouple. It means it used thermocouple to measure the temperature. The amount of charge was determined by weight. Differences between the mesh or sample before and the after of the experiment was carried out. The gas yield is used to determine by GC and gas volume. So the oil is collected inside the reactor or the downstream. It used solvent to recover the oil. This reactor is wide variety analysis method used to decharacterize the oil, such as extraction, video images, online infrared camera, and hydrocarbon analyzers. Okay, wire mesh reactor also used in this study to achieve high heating rates up to 10 degrees C per second. Vapors directly removed from the hot meshes by applying deep vacuum. Third is vapor phase was directly cooled using liquid nitrogen. All products were captured in closed system. So it used small amount of oil sample were available for further analysis.
Okay, now I will explain to you about the advantages of this wire mesh reactor in pyrolysis process. Okay, first, it decreased the total productions of volatile. Second, it increased the production of char. Third, it capable to operate at a high pressure operation. Fourth, it require a small amount of sample. Fifth, it enable the recovery of the products for further characterization in a state relatively uncontaminated by the extensive secondary reaction. And the last one, it's capable to operate over a wide range of reaction conditions than other reactor configuration do. Okay, as the conclusion for our discussion just now, okay, the wire mesh reactor has been adapted for several different applications and the limits of its operating condition have been extended. These applications described have been associated with the cleaner core technologies. This reactor has so many advantages for the for the pyrolysis process. Okay, the additions of the forced sweep gas remove the volatiles and gases. Thus, it decreased the total volatile yield but increased the production of char. As a conclusion, wire mesh reactor has increased the productions of the product. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.
My name is Mama Arkan.
Hi, my name is Lorena Zoila.
My name is Atika binti Muhammad Syafruddin. My name is Atika Fatimah bin Muhammad Fatimah.
You only know you love her when you let her go.